And so are little children. They are called of God. So Jesus took a child and it set him on his knee or in his lap. That's the old country word, his lap. And he said, except ye become as little children, you cannot even enter into my kingdom, for they are the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So I want to say to all you little ones today, you remind me so much of myself growing up, because my mother and my father, they would tell us boys, we need to do church work. We need to do Jesus work. And Jesus work is what you guys were doing today. You were being his hand and feet. Okay?
Amen.
We know
Amen.
Jesus is in heaven, but where does he really live? He lives where? In our hearts. Right? And Jesus always went about doing good. So I want to say to you guys, thank you, and thank your parents, and thank all of the leaders in the group that have put this nice gathering together, and you guys were able to come out to the shelter. I want to tell you something about this shelter. Now, they got a new one being built, and I don't know if y'all rode by over there by the farmer's market, but they got one of the resident buildings already put together, and they out there right as we speak now, breaking it up. And it's going to be a nice, bigger facility for a much big problem. Believe it or not, this little building can house 50 residents.
Wow.
But we only have 20. I don't know if the adults know this to be true or not. We only have 20 beds for men here.
Oh.
Only 8 beds for women. But we can house up to 50 because this kitchen, this dormant, this dining room at night becomes a sleeping facility.
Oh.
All right. So I told you 50 was our capacity. Well, last Thursday, the leadership met with the fire marshals because we wanted to do something a little bit more for those who has to deal with the cold and don't have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So they talked Thursday. Friday, they came up with a number. We can do 70 now, but here's the sad part about that 70. We have a little day room. Now, I'll show you the little day room when we leave out. To get them out of the cold, they can't lay down and sleep. They can just sit in chairs. That's kind of sad, but it's better than being outside in the cold. You know, they still can get to come inside and get to eat meals and everything like that. So I want to say too, to all of you, all of the churches, and all of the groups, all of the nationalities of people who contribute to the United Way and organizations like that, and also just personally give out of their pocket, whether it's money or your time, which is a very precious thing, your time. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you do. Homeless is for real. You don't have to be a drug addict. You don't have to be poor to be homeless. I'll give you one incident, or several. Just last year, we had an elderly man who came to the shelter. He said, well, why was he homeless if he lived in a $325,000 home? Which was paid for. Well, his wife and his mother-in-law acquired cancer, and he sold his home to pay the doctor bill, and he became homeless. So that's a very special and a unique situation. Believe it or not, before the president that we have now, which is Mr. Trump, President Trump, was president, in 2015, December of that year, we had a 51-year-old Afro-American who had a portfolio of him and Mr. Trump. He was a chef at the Trump Plaza in Atlantic City. Stayed here. So you can never judge a book by what? Its cover.
Yeah.
You don't know what's in the book until you what? Read it.
Yeah.
Last year, we had a 21-year-old Afro-American young lady who worked third shift at the Walmart, went to school during the day at SPCC. She was staying here waiting on the second round of the singing program called The Voice.
Oh.
And I really understand